Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all doing well. This is Dr. Shirley Rudd coming to you to do lecture number 1, week 1 for Sustaining the Heart of Advocacy, the Power of Wellness in Community Organizing. Week 1 is about an introduction to wellness in life and community organizing. So within our lives, we have lots of emotional demands, from day-to-day life as well as our profession. And so it's really important to understand and address those demands to promote resiliency and longevity. We want to have long lives. And in order to do that, you need to take care of yourself. So, Stam's 2010s mentioned that you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. This is the most important thing. So, what is wellness? Wellness is a dynamic process of maintaining physical, mental, and emotional health. It's that conscious pursuit of activities and habits that lead to a balanced life. When we don't feel like we have balance in our life, we definitely notice it. Other people notice it. And I want you to see the 5 areas where you could feel like you are missing a part of your center, of your balance. That could be physical, emotional, social, occupation, or spiritual. What are things that can affect our ability to have balance? First thing is our own trauma. We are exposed to things that are traumatic for us on a regular basis, and we have to take care of ourselves as we're dealing with our own trauma. Let's talk about compassion fatigue. What is that? It's the emotional and physical exhaustion that comes from constantly empathizing with other people's suffering. Think about that. Has there been a time in your life where you felt like you have had some compassion fatigue? Some of the signs of it could be emotional numbness, feeling detached, reduced empathy, and difficulties finding joy in your work or your personal life. Quick tip for that: build boundaries and practice self-care daily. You should all have one thing that you do for yourself each day. If you don't, I need you to start incorporating something every day. Take 5 minutes to figure out what you're going to do each day to take care of yourself, and then each day take 5 minutes to actually do it. Secondary trauma. Secondary trauma is another way that can kick us off of being balanced. This is experiencing traumatic symptoms because of exposures to other people's traumatic experiences. This could be your partner, this could be your children, this could be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friends. You can definitely have secondary trauma based on situations they've been a part of and they shared with you. Signs of that: intrusive thoughts, hypervigilance, emotional instability, and then sleep disruptions. Anytime your sleep is off, there is a reason for that, and that should be your first sign that something is going on. I just put a little example down there as far as what this is. So you, as an individual, internalizing someone else's traumatic story. One quick tip for that is to engage in reflective practice and seek a trusted person to process your emotions. I have many trusted people within my life who I feel comfortable processing my emotions with. And I think at a minimum, you should always try to at least have one. Think about who in your life is that one person. Now, our trauma, our compassion fatigue, and our secondary trauma can lead to burnout. And this is a state of emotional and physical and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress, especially in professional settings. There could be many times where you may not have that compassion fatigue or that secondary trauma, but due to your own trauma, you could have burnout. So I don't want you to think that just being exposed to other people's trauma that you don't have burnout, but you could definitely have it. Signs of this is feeling drained, feeling overwhelmed, loss of motivation or purpose, and being a cynic. Cynicism is, when we're just always know something's going to go wrong, right? And we're negative towards everything. That is something that, you need to kind of be mindful of. Like if you feel like you're stuck in that negative place, why? What else is going on? Could you be depressed? Could you be anxious? And what's the root of those things? One quick tip for that, if you're feeling burnout and you still have to kind of push through your day, take intentional breaks. Reassess the commitment so that you can restore your balance. You do not have to say yes to everything. Sometimes you need to say no and you need to walk away and take time for yourself. That's okay. Why do these concepts matter? Because all of this impacts your personal and your professional life. It strains your relationship. It forces you to neglect your self-care. You go into unhealthy coping mechanisms such as self-medicating with substances, food, gambling, porn. You have physical symptoms, sleep disruption, weakened immune system. The more that you're stressed, the more likely are you to have a cold, some type of injury, because our immune system, when it's weakened, it gets attacked at its weakest point, and stress weakens our immune system. You have increased risk for mental health challenges. That could be a level of anxiety or depression that you don't know how to manage, or maybe you're feeling embarrassed about seeking help for it or talking to people. Normalize it. Everybody has depression and anxiety. Everybody does. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to people. There are so many different types of help that's out there. I am a clinician, so I do therapy with people, but there's music therapy, there's art therapy, there's yoga therapy. There are so many other therapies than talking to someone. Look in your community to see what's available. You also have reduced effectiveness. And if you're in an emotionally demanding profession, there are high turnover when people get to burnout. One of the things that I do, so this is my quick tip for you guys, the importance of self-awareness. Recognizing those early signs ensures that you can get whatever intervention that you need. All right, wanted to present just some practical strategies for you guys for wellness, compassion fatigue, secondary trauma, and for burnout. So just take a look at those, and I want you to let me know what resonates with you. What are things that you think you can do to make these strategies part of your day-to-day? In conclusion, taking care of yourself is not a luxury. It's a necessity for sustaining your ability to care for others. I got a call to action for you guys here. So I need you to identify one self-care strategy that you can implement this week. Secondly, I want you to reflect on your current emotional wellness and take one step to improve it. That could be anything. These are the references that I used to create our presentation today. And then lastly, thank you so much for your time. Feel free to reach out to further this discussion, send your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm going through and I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. I'm looking for kind of themes. If people are having kind of the same things, I will be addressing those things. One quick question that I want you to think about this presentation today is what resonated with you about these definitions and strategies. Is it helpful for you to know what these definitions are? Does it make it easier to recognize, I'm having some compassion fatigue or some secondary trauma? Is that easier for you? And then homework. Other thing I want you to do is reflect on a time when life or community organizing felt emotionally taxing, and how did you cope? I want to hear that in the chat. Next week, we're going to do wellness mapping. I'll see you at the wellness mapping class.